Hi everybody, how are you? It's Jay Victoria, the Energy Queen, and I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about money and wealth. I think this is a big thing for people that is a very real part of your life that you care about. So I wanted to connect that with the energy world and some tips on how you can actually increase your wealth and improve your relationship with wealth overall. So the first thing I want to tell you about wealth is that there are two sides to wealth. There's the masculine, which is the um, physical world, that is the actions you take, the work that you do, the logic, the organization, finances, all of that. And that's what we usually think of as 100%, but that's only 50%. The other 50% is the feminine, which is the spiritual, the energetic, how your energy attracts or doesn't attract, your ability to receive, right? So that is the 50% of wealth that I'm going to talk about, because that's the 50% that's usually ignored, right? So, but it's literally 50% of your results. So it's really important. So, first thing we're going to talk about is energetic blocks to wealth and what they specifically tend to be. There are three specific things that can block your wealth that I'm going to tell you about. The first one is a lack of self value. So, if you want to have wealth, you've got to have self value. That's literally the energy that is at the same frequency of wealth. Self value and wealth are almost like the same synonymous frequency in the energy world. So, if you have more self value, which by the way, you don't have to have more money to have more self value. That's one of the big keys here. You could be homeless on the street and start building your self value, and your whole situation will improve. So, self value, and the reason a lot of people are in that situation, by the way, isn't just because of money, it's because they don't have self value. So, improving your self value, thinking about your self value is really, really key for your wealth, okay? How do you build self value? Well, self value, what I see it as, is your soul's opinion of itself. I've had people like make fun of me for saying that, but it's just kind of a way. I mean, words are never enough to communicate the energy world, right? But we're just using what we have. So it's like your soul, what the energy world is all composed of is beliefs. And so the energy of the beliefs that you believe are what's inside of you. So that's why you can have both positive and negative energies inside of you, because you probably have a mix right now of a bunch of positive beliefs, a bunch of negative beliefs about different things, about yourself, about the world. And the more positive the opinion you have is of yourself, that's going to be more self-value. And so it's like if you take your energy or your soul and you go like, what do I believe about myself? That's going to determine the frequency of your self-value. The higher that frequency, the higher your wealth, basically. And that's why people who have a lot of money, but why does that person have a lot of money? They're not even a good person. Well, they will all have self-value. And so if you can have self-value, if you can really nail that down, you can start to invite more wealth into your life. A lack of self-value really blocks wealth. And not just because energetically it blocks it, but because if you don't have self-value, you're less likely to charge what you believe you're worth. You're less likely to take opportunities. You're less likely to feel like you deserve things. And so that's going to be blocking you as well. So it works on a lot of different levels. You're less likely to take action, right? But energetically, self-value is really important. And you communicate self-value to your own soul by a lot of different things. The way that you talk about yourself, start noticing the way that you talk about yourself, start saying good things about yourself, especially if you're a woman. That's really good for your energy. You can say it out loud. You can stop apologizing all the time if you don't need to. Stop being a doormat, stop being a people pleaser, start having boundaries. Really quick hack for boundaries is just to basically like talk about yourself and what's okay with you. Never talk about the other person when you're laying down a boundary, because it's not about them. It's about you and what's okay with you, what's right for you, what works for you, what doesn't work. And basically distance yourself between you and people and situations that diminish your self-value. Really, if you're working on building wealth, you have to be working on building self-value at the same time. You also build self-value with the way you present yourself, the way you, and it's not about looking a certain way for the world. It's just about what makes you feel good about yourself. And do that. I literally put on lipstick before this, and that's why my finger was red. and but that makes me feel like good about the way I present myself. I could not put on lipstick, but I did. You know, that was for my self-value. And so you got to have that kind of approach with everything. It's like, what's going to make me feel good about myself? And another bonus for the world is that when you feel good about yourself, you're more likely to be good to other people, be kind to people. There's a lot of benefits from self-value. All right, that's one thing. Another energetic block that's really big is feeling like a victim. Victimhood energy is dark purple in the energy world. I see it with my eyes, and I clear it from people with my sessions. And this is the biggest block to wealth in general. If you feel like a victim of somebody, past, present, whatever, it will literally block your wealth. If you can't get enough money, there's something going on with this, because if you feel like a victim, I know that it's usually because of that. So who do you feel a victim of? How can you stop feeling like a victim of that person? One piece of advice that I have for that is that you have to remind yourself every single time that you can't control what other people do. You literally can't. So you have to basically get at peace with that. You have to accept that you cannot control other people. So what can you control? You can control yourself. They can do whatever they do, and you can control what you do. You can control whether or not you talk to them, whether or not you stay around them, whether you forgive them or you think about it or you don't. You have the control. So there's no need to ever feel like a victim. That can help release you from victimhood immediately, because you realize, oh, I'm not a victim because I can't control what they do, but I can control myself. All right, that's a quick hack for victimhood. And then the other thing with energetic wealth blocks is basically like, do you have your feminine energy turned on? Feminine energy is highly receptive. And so if you're not receiving, if you're not feeling good about yourself, there's something going on probably with your feminine energy, especially if you're a woman. And women need to put their feminine first. Your feminine is your spirit, it's your presence. There are 4 ingredients to it. You probably heard me say this before. I'm going to say it again. The ingredients for feminine energy are presence, pleasure, self-value, there's that energy again, and your purpose. And if you build those 4 things, you will have more feminine energy, which also connects with your wealth through self-value. That's one way. So how are you building those things? I want to also point out the pleasure. The second one is your sexual energy. Sexual energy, if you have that, which is again a part of your feminine, you will receive more. And you see a lot of women showing their sexual energy all the time, and they receive very easily. And it's not that you have to put your body out there in ways you feel uncomfortable with or anything like that, but you have to be aware if this is turned on or turned off in you, because if it's turned off, it's going to be hard for you to receive money. All right, I'm doing kind of a sweep over all this. I mean, there's deep dives on all these things, but I've written a lot of ebooks. I do a lot of courses. If you're interested in any of these topics, comment or email me. My email's in the description. I can talk to you more about what I can offer if you want to know more. Another thing I want to talk about with wealth is that the energetic side of wealth is that money is one currency. We have a lot of different types of currency in this world and in the energy world that connects and creates this world as well. Kindness is a highly valuable currency. Karma is very real. And if you want to be somebody who's inviting good things back to you, one of those good things being wealth probably for you, because that's something that makes you feel positive. If you want positive energy coming back to you, you got to be someone who's giving positive energy to other people. Does this mean you go around giving and giving and giving and overgiving? No, but you have to be aware of the situations that are set in front of you. You're not here to save the world on your own, but whatever you are capable of helping will show up in front of you. So who is that today? What is that? Don't turn a blind eye. Instead, realize that you probably have the capacity to do something to help. And if you do that, that energy is going to come back to you. A lot of times it comes as wealth, okay? So what is that? Who is that? Is it an animal, a person? Is it a kind word? Is it, giving something to somebody? What do you have that you can give? God knows your capacity to give and what you have as assets, and he'll put people in front of you that you can give to so that you're inviting good things back to you. Fairy tales are a great example of this. I've read a lot of fairy tales in research about energy and the way that life works. And what I found as one of the big takeaways, lessons from that, is that in all the fairy tales, pretty much all of them, at one point early in the story, the main character comes across something helpless that needs help. They help them out of the goodness of their heart. And by the end of the story, that same creature usually is the one that saves their life. So it's a really big lesson for us to remember that it's really important, if we want to live out our happy ending, to give other people happy endings along the way, even if it's just having a better day for them. Another thing with the energy of wealth is thinking about, what is the wealthy version of you like? Because the mistake that we make is thinking that you're going to be that person when you have the money. You got to stop that right now, because you are going to have the money when you are the person. That's how it works. I want you to list all the things, all the qualities that you would have as the wealthy version of you. And I want you to notice how many of them are things that you can do right now and that you don't have to pay for. Would you be more confident? Would you get up earlier? Would you go to bed earlier? Would you work differently? Would you love your work? Would you smile, laugh more? Would you be more open? Like, would you listen better? What are the qualities of the person that you would be if you had the wealth? You have to be that person all the time. And that's how you're going to invite more of the wealth to you. Okay. You're going to be more of a go-getter, all kinds of things. That version of you, I want to say too, is probably at a higher frequency. And that higher frequency is having less fear. So facing your fears is also very important. If you want what's on the other side of fear, face the fear. Okay. Fear protects you only if you don't even want what's on the other side of it. If you want what's on the other side of fear, you should be facing it all day, every day. Ask God to help you if you're having a hard time, because, yeah. And the big picture is not, like God, the bigger picture is not as concerned about money for you as your spiritual development. So you have to keep that in mind. You're on earth not to just get rich. A lot of people get into a lot of problems by getting rich and really having spiritual difficulties still. A lot of wealthy people kill themselves. A lot of famous people do too. You have to stop living in the lie that fame and wealth are going to solve your problems, because they don't. You have to get into the reality that your spirit is here on a journey, and that's what's important. And wealth is going to be a part of that, but it's not the point. Wealth is motivating for us. We want it. We need it. We need it to survive. It's important. Yes. But also makes life more fun, for sure. Less stress, all the good things. But to get to that higher frequency where all those things are, there may be some lessons along the way. So if you're learning some lessons, embrace the lessons, okay? Embrace the lessons you're learning. Ask God to show you, what am I learning? What is important here for me to learn? And remember that that version of you who has the wealth has different qualities, and the lessons are directly training you to have those qualities. So the difficulties you're going through right now are actually training you to be the wealthier version of you. They're not problems in your way. You know, you can solve problems, you can think of it that way, but think of it more like challenges on your hero's journey, and that you're literally becoming the version of you who will have those things. What else? Spending. Look at how you spend if you're interested in having more money. What are you spending money on? I like to tell people and be really real about this. A lot of people, I just posted a video about paying for energy work because someone challenged me on that. I explain exactly why I think it's really important that you pay for energy work, especially if you're working with me. I can only really speak about my own energy work because they're all different. Everybody's different, completely different. But you spend a lot of money. If you're worried, especially about spending on energy work, I want you to think about all the ways you spend money to try to soothe yourself, to feel better, because you have negative energy inside of you. What I do is clear that negative energy. So you get fast upgrades, you get fast relief. It's like a facial for your soul. It's called Energy Queen Alchemy, and it's very fast. And I've trained for years to be able to do this. It's a very rare gift that I am aware is very precious. And I know that if people don't book with me, they're going to still be spending not only money, but years of their life in turmoil. You're going to be stuck in the addictions. You're going to be stuck in all the things that you literally spend money on to try to feel better. And it's going to cost you more in the long run, because negative energy is expensive. having blocks inside of you is hella expensive, because you're going to have to wear more makeup because you don't look as good. You're going to have to buy more products. You're going to be buying more clothing to try to feel better. You're going to be eating more. You're going to be eating more expensive food. You're going to be spending lots of money in therapy trying to change those beliefs when really they can be dissolved. Therapy is, good for talking and, different types of therapy. I know there's a lot I'm not completely knocking therapy, but if you're looking for clarity in your energy, a lot of people go to therapy and it won't actually fix it. I've been working with a lot of people who are so happy to find me because what they wanted was clearer energy, and that's what I provide. Therapy doesn't necessarily do that. It can take a long time to authentically change your beliefs, which eventually will change your energy and then change your life. But basically the point is you're going to spend a lot of money trying to feel better, which is really just trying to get relief from negative energy. And instead you could actually get the negative energy cleared, put your money there, and you're actually going to save money and save time in the long run. The last thing I want to say is that masculine support is what you're looking for. So the world of the logic and the money, all the practical side, that's the masculine. And especially for women, it's really important for you to hear that you have to look at not just your relationship with your feminine, but your relationship with your masculine. What is your masculine? Like, what do you think about masculine energy? Do you have fear about it? Do you have fear about God? Do you have fear about men? Do you have fear about, do you think it's bad? Do you think it's all toxic? If you have a lot of judgment against the masculine, you're judging money and you're not letting it in. You're not going to let things in that you think are bad. So you have to start redefining your relationship with the masculine. And the true masculine has one very specific indicator, which is support. True masculine energy supports the feminine, supports you, supports your spirit. The physical world is here to support us. Money is here to support us. Your soul, to live on this earth. And your soul is the eternal treasure that you take with you. So yeah, what's your relationship with the masculine like? And if you have blocks to that, then that's something, again, like someone like me could help you with, getting those blocks cleared so that you can let that support in. All in all, what I want to say about the energy of wealth blocks, letting more wealth in, up leveling, resurrecting your wealth, is that it is an individual process. It's not a one size fits all. That's why I included a lot of advice here, because I know you'll be able to choose what works for you. Better wealth is like better health. It's like everybody is individual. Everybody's needs are individual. Everybody's blocks are very individual. But these are some of the common ones that I've seen. If you have any questions and you want to talk to me about this, if you want to know more about my energy work and how to work with me, I'll put my email in the description, and I'll also put a free consult link where you can talk to me for 20 minutes about what's going on with you, and I'll tell you the blocks that I see and how it can help if you're interested in that. But anyway, Happy New Year. I hope that this helps you to understand wealth, the energy of wealth better. And I also have, speaking of my ebooks, an ebook on this topic called Spiritual Wealth. It includes a workbook with 30 days of exercises to help you do specific things every day, along with the ebook to help you get better results with your wealth in 2025. And that's only $77 US for lifetime access, and it's really, really awesome. So if you want a copy of that, you can email me or comment as well, and I'm excited to talk to you more. But I hope that this helped you, and please let me know. Bye.